How's it going, everyone? And welcome back to another episode of the podcast right here at Celestia Radio, CRP, in case you forgot. I'm your host, Matthias, as normal, joined with my cohorts, Dalit and Nat.
G'day, everyone.
Hey, good to be back.
Yeah.
It's been a bit since we recorded.
Yeah,
It's true.
it has. Yeah.
So, in these situations where we go sprees without recording, I have the same question that I ask you guys every time. What y'all been playing? What's been the hotness? How's it been?
Shall you go first, Dole?
Yeah, sure. In a surprise to no one, I'm sure, Final Fantasy came out and I've been living in that game.
You like Final Fantasy? Me too.
I know, right? It's so good.
God.
But yeah,
it's Final Fantasy VII
I've been
Rebirth.
playing a metric ton of Final Fantasy VII. I am in no way, shape, or form anywhere near finished with all the content that game has to offer.
Oh, okay.
I did finish
It's a
the game.
large game if you want to 100%.
Oh my goodness, there's so much to do.
I'm guessing it's all little mini games and whatnot.
Yeah, and I think everyone gets kind of hung up on the gold saucer bit, of which there are so many things to do in there.
Right.
Like just there's so much in the world to do. There's so many different mini games for you to engage in, and I think that is for good and for ill, honestly. Especially looking at what the broader consensus of this game seems to be.
So somebody I follow on Twitter, I don't remember who, because this was like 2-3 days ago that I saw it now, but somebody I follow on Twitter posted that their brother, who is a huge Final Fantasy fan, and they can't recall them ever saying a negative thing about any Final Fantasy, said a negative thing about Rebirth, and that is that they are fed up with all the mini games. Like there's so many mini games.
Yeah, that seems to be the big one. And I hate to say it, but I kind of agree. A big portion of the reason why I only just finished it, and I'm not still currently playing it, is because it did start to get to the point where it felt like it was overstaying its welcome. So I just nose to the grindstone and went right through. Matter of fact, I didn't actually participate in any of the big second trips to the Gold Saucer, and I haven't completed all of my different other mini games that I almost just said out loud, and I will not spoil for you guys.
I mean, I wouldn't have bothered. I wouldn't have minded personally, so don't worry.
There's so much. There's so much. And a good chunk of it requires a second playthrough anyway. So once I'm mentally recovered, I'll probably knock them out then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the chocobo racing in Rebirth?
It is, and it's so good. It is genuinely very fun.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited about that. Because,
let me tell you,
like,
OG was not great.
Yeah, I've never played a Final Fantasy game where I found the chocobo racing to be particularly good.
I would agree with that.
14's is okay, but it's really, really bare bones. So even then, it's kind of,
Yeah.
No, 7 is really good. Really good. It is one of the things that I did skip once the game was starting to linger, but not for a sake of I didn't want to deal with it. There are a couple mini games that I personally don't want to deal with. That was not one of them. I was super pleased anytime I had to get on a chocobo.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the chocobos, they seem to, at least in the build up to the game, they kept putting emphasis on they've put time into the chocobo related things. So
yeah.
I look forward to seeing what that entails.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else to say about it?
I mean, I could
outside
say
the mini games being plethorable. Because I'm not a minigame person, so I will say when I saw that, it was kind of a, I don't like hearing that because I'm really not a minigame person. 9 out of 10 times, that will kill a game's momentum for me so fast. Because I'm not a minigame person.
Yeah, what I would say to that in terms of going forward into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth for you is the moment you feel them getting to the point that that's starting to bother you, just skip them. Just ignore them. You can, as best as I can tell, you can always go back. Like, nothing seems to be missable at all in this game.
Ooh,
Which is nice.
That's a good thing. Considering it's set in the open world section of this game.
Right, of course.
There shouldn't be much that's locked. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, the only thing in the original 7 that you could miss was anything in the dungeon in Cosmo Canyon. Outside of that, everything else you could repeat.
Yeah.
You could not go back in the Cosmo Canyon dungeon once you finished it.
I guess technically you could miss
I think
Aerith's
Ancient
stuff
Fort.
after a point.
Oh, that as well. The one you get Ragnarok, I want to say Ancient first, but that could be wrong. One that
No, you can go back into that later.
Can you?
It gets time locked for a period, but you progress a little further and it's no longer locked again.
Okay.
Now the ancient city might also be unenterable after that, but that's right before Aerith dies in the original.
Mm-hmm.
So
oh god, I haven't played OG7 since like a year before remake. I no longer remember the intricacies anymore.
I'm trying to remember. It's been a bit for me. It's been a good bit for me as well. But it wasn't so long ago that I can't remember it.
Sure.
But I also watched somebody play through it not horribly long ago too, so that's kind of helping.
Me.
No, 2 people. Yeah, I did watch somebody besides.
I might do that. I might watch someone who's been playing through the recent games, see what they feel going back now.
Yeah, I was gonna start a playthrough of Remake since I never actually got to finish Remake. And
yeah, Matt.
And hey, it's not my fault. And actually play through the DLC since I have a 5 now and could do that.
Yeah.
But stuff happened that I'll get into. And I didn't get to before 7 came out.
Right.
So yeah, no. Outside of the minigames though, everything you did enjoy?
Yeah. I think I've been on record in this podcast as saying I'm getting a little tired of open world games. I guess that's not true if you play on my nostalgia, because I just didn't struggle with those feelings in this game. Matter of fact,
Right.
it was hard for me to want to get in to the various fast travels because I would rather just hoof it around.
Right.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah.
To elicit that response is always impressive.
Mm-hmm. Game's beautiful. I played both in performance and graphics, and graphics mode is so pretty. It's so pretty, guys.
So
Mm-hmm.
No, go on.
Performance mode isn't bad either. I had to use that for a little bit just to come to grips with timings. And as I just got more and more comfortable with that, I did switch over to graphics and refamiliarize myself with the new timings, but it was easier the second time around. And it still looks nice. Performance mode. Graphics mode just is stupidly pretty. What are you going to do?
Fair enough. Yeah.
All right.
And actually, the story's amazing. And I literally
Right, of
can't
course.
tell you anything about it.
I expected that, but I am happy to hear it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Everything that you expect happens. A lot of things you don't expect happens. A lot of things you could never have expected happen. So it's good stuff.
We were talking with a friend just before cast, and he was telling me that he feels his experience playing through the game reminded him of his first time playing through Kingdom Hearts 2, and that's one of his favorite games. So I'm like, that's a really high praise coming from that individual, knowing how they feel about Kingdom Hearts 2. And so, yeah, no, I was just like, that's really good praise. And honestly, some of the lack of anticipation I had after that Twitter comment was restored by hearing that, because I was like, okay, I love Kingdom Hearts 2. I would like to see how, it feels to me in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think either side is wrong. I think there are too many mini games. I think even if you ignore the mini games, there's still too many mini games. But I do also think that because you can ignore the mini games, it's fine. And there's so much
Right.
about this game to enjoy.
Okay, so I have 2 questions
What's up?
about the game. Neither of them are spoilery,
Cool.
so no
My favorite
concerns
kind of
there.
questions to answer.
So first one is something that I was curious about back before Rebirth, like they even announced, Rebirth being in development, right?
Right.
Like when Remake just came out and when I was playing through that. Because they moved summons forward when they played Remake. You got a lot of summons really early in Remake.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to where
Yeah.
you would have got them in the original 7.
Hmm?
Those summons are in Rebirth too, right?
Yes. Yes. I had
Okay.
Ifrit and Shiva attached to me for a long time. I had like the Mughals and all the stuff that transferred over, like I had them attached and then I would phase them out as the new ones finally got unlocked.
Okay. So it was my concern when I played Remake that I was just like, woo, they're moving these forward. They are going to continue to put them in the future games, because one of the things about 7 that I always loved was the huge list of summons it had. And so I was just like, I'm scared if they're moving them forward, are they not going to carry them over into the next game? And I'm going to have that same fear going into whatever they named the third one with the new summons they add in Rebirth. Like, are you going to carry those over?
I will say this. They get carried over, but the developers were very clever in that they do not want you to rely on them.
Oh.
They want you to play with the new toys.
Oh, the combo thing.
The new summons are better. They can be enhanced, whereas the older summons are stuck at their first level, which is fine. And let me tell you, super useful as I was going through, because there are a bunch of elemental summons, so that's great if you want to pressure enemies. But the newer summons were designed to be stronger so that you would use them.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But I would like an option if you do like a new game plus or something to be able to negate that, so you can just use the summons that are your favorites.
That might end up being the case. Like I said, I beat the game like 3 days ago, maybe 4. I don't know. It's not been a very long amount of time, and I beat the game because I didn't want to burn out. So I haven't even jumped into a new game yet. It could be that they just wanted you to play with the new toys in the first run, and now I can mix and match and do whatever I need.
Well, I hope that's the case. And if it's not, Square Enix, hear me, listen to our small little podcast by some miracle and hear me. Add that into a patch, because after you've played with the new things in the first playthrough, they're no longer new, and people have their favorite summons and will want to use their favorite summons, because one of those carryover summons is one of my favorite summons. So it's kind of sad that I won't get to use them as much because they get power crept. So actually, 2 of them are some of my favorite summons, if I'm not mistaken. So Leviathan and Ramu.
Yeah.
I personally didn't have Leviathan or Ramu, but I think that's something to do with one of my saves.
So yeah, Leviathan is you need save data where you cleared the DLC from Remake.
Which I did, which is what's interesting about this. So I think there was some issue with my data, because I know they're there. People talked about them being there. I just didn't have them, which was super disappointing, especially since, I could have used Ramu for a couple of things.
And yeah, I think Ramu is just having the save data for Remake.
Yeah, so I'm not sure why I didn't have access, but they are there. People talked openly about them.
Yeah, but I knew there were 2 of the carryovers because they were the 2 that were, well, I can't remember if Leviathan was in base Remake or only in the DLC, but Ramu was definitely in the base game, and I was just like, no, that means I'm never going to get to use him in the future, doesn't it? So,
fortunately, looks like you'll be able to use him just fine.
Well, hopefully they handled this right for me. So second question,
right,
is there's one new playable character. Thinking of the cast, and it is only the one new playable character for this one.
There were 2 playable characters that were not playable before. Oh, I will say this. Remember, Red wasn't strictly playable in the first game.
Oh, that's right. Red
couldn't
wasn't
control
playable
him.
in
I was
Remake. He
like,
was just
huh?
in it.
He
I
he was
forgot
just
about
there
that. I just
in the last couple chapters.
That's right. I just remembered that he was there, so my brain just automatically went, he was playable. No, you're right. So there's 2 new playable characters.
3.
Thank you. 3?
3. Because it's not spoilers. The only characters that aren't playable are Sid and Vincent.
Right.
You're forgetting Kate.
Who's the 3rd? I was thinking of Kate. I wasn't counting Yuffie because she had a DLC where you played as her.
Oh God!
already-
I am the dumb one. It is me. I am the.
I was like, see, like when I went to ask the question, I was like, I want to say there's multiple new characters, but I'm like, no, Yuffie had a DLC, so she already kind of existed. If you played the DLC, you have an idea,
Right.
So I'm like, so it's just Kate.
You're not even
I was
wrong.
forgetting Red.
Yuffie is entirely intact. I mean, obviously she doesn't have her combo attacks with Sonnen, but everyone has combo attacks with each other, so it's fine.
Yeah.
No, Yuffie's completely intact. Because of the way the narrative tells the story, I completely forgot. Yeah, no, we've done this before.
Yeah, so it's 2.
It's 2. It's just the 2. You were correct.
Spaced on Red. Yeah. So, but I knew there were multiple, but it's spaced on Red. So
yeah, there are 3 newly introduced characters to the narrative, and there are 2 new playable characters. Right. And everyone is technically here now in the sense of we have met them.
Right.
Right.
So in that sense, there's 5 to the narrative.
Just so.
But two playable. Anyways, so my question: how are the 2 new characters to play? Because when I played through Remake, I enjoyed every character's playstyle. I thought they made each one feel unique and enjoyable. I haven't played the Yuffie DLC, but everything I've seen,
Yuffie's my favorite character to play, yes.
And she looks just as fun and fluid to play as the rest of them.
Yeah.
And I never really doubted that I would enjoy Yuffie's playstyle. So that was never really a worry. But how are Red and Kate Sith? I'm curious.
I mean, Red's fine. I think Red kind of gets muscled out of my teams a lot because if I want a tank, I'm gonna go to Barrett for in-game reasons.
Right.
But you're forced to play as everyone at some point. Like your team is constantly broken up. You're constantly running around with different characters, and at no point did I feel gimped for not having Cloud be my lead or not having Aerith in my party or Tifa or so on and so forth. Right. I have preferences. Some for game reasons, some because I'm a simp.
Fair.
Like, yeah, no, everyone felt great. Kate is...
So everyone did feel good, okay.
Yeah, Kate is so unique unto himself that even if he wasn't fun to play as, he's so unique.
It's so funny because I'm pretty sure anyone who's played Dirge of Cerberus would also say that Kate Sith is also fucking unique in that game.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Kate feels fine to play as. Of the 2, I prefer Red. But
is Red still a support in this game? Or...
Yes, very much so.
Okay.
He's like a tank support hybrid, and he can pump out a bunch of DPS, but literally so can everyone.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, no one feels bad to play as, which is great because, like I said, like in the first game, they're gonna make you play as everyone.
Right.
Kate probably has the weakest
that's a good thing,
but that's not because of Kate, just because of the gimmick they wanted to do.
Okay, so kind of a niche is probably not the right word, but like ultra specific question.
Sure.
Related to this, I remember playing in Remake when you put the materia that attached whatever like offensive magic materia or whatever you had like paired with it, it gave your normal attack that element attack.
Yeah, elemental.
Yes, that's still here.
Elemental attack. Yeah. I remember there was really fun little visual effects when you used that, like on your weapon or whatever. Like I remember using it on Tifa and having like lightning bolts trailing with her punches and kicks. It was really cool. Did you happen to try that combination of elemental attack or whatever on Red? What did that look like? If so, do you know?
Well, I never did the elemental materia on Red. Red, I had spec'd for some other stuff. But I did use the elemental materia because it's so strong.
Oh, it's actually strong in this.
Oh, it's fantastic. Well, so you're not going to be doing 1 billion damage, but it serves the same purpose as it did in Rebirth, where you can pressure enemies through their elemental weakness.
Ah, right, gotcha.
Right. So long as the enemy isn't absorbing the element, as with every game, you're good to go.
Yeah.
What's interesting is, and I wasn't looking for it, so it could still be there, and I could just be blind. I don't remember the elemental visual effects being there.
I mean, you're looking at 700 other fucking visual effects going off.
You're not wrong, because of all of the synergy,
So,
the synergy skills and the synergy attacks, and how rapidly you're jumping from character to character.
Yeah.
You're looking at so much on screen that I genuinely wasn't on Cloud long enough to notice if it was there, and when I was on Cloud long enough, I was personally pulsing with plasma the whole time because enemy skill. So it was a bit rough for me to notice specifically any particular VFX.
That's fine. I'll look when I get to play.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, I just know it was one of my favorite little visual, like minute details that they had in Remake, and I was wondering if they kept it. And I have no reason to think they wouldn't.
Yeah, it stands to reason that it'll still be there.
Yeah, and then I was just kind of curious, like what that looked like for Red or 8. So,
well, if you don't get to it anytime soon,
because the only person you didn't get a good look at it for in Remake was Barrett, because it really only showed up on the impact of his like firing.
Yeah.
So
if you don't pick it up anytime soon and you still want to know, let me know. I have access. I can make that combination happen. Otherwise, consider it something for you to look forward to.
I'm not picking it up anytime soon, so maybe I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, just poke me about it, because this brain can forget so much.
Right.
We'll slaps it.
But anything else about Rebirth you want to throw in here? Because I mean, you've been playing it for like 2 weeks now.
No, I'm trying my best not to talk about this game because there's so many different things to spoil, and some of them are like seemingly innocuous, but I wouldn't want to take away those moments from anyone.
Right.
I'll say this, because the game looks so good, I was hit by an absolute wave of nostalgia during the Ferris wheel FMV. Not because of anyone who I was with, but genuinely just the way they were shot. If your characters aren't on screen, it looks amazing, but it also kind of looks nostalgic, like those old FMVs. And I felt very good about that. But like all the stuff,
I look forward to that.
Yeah, all the stuff like I'm pulling my hair out about and like really like frothing at the mouth over, I literally can't talk about.
Fair.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Obviously, don't want to spoil it for any of our listeners that haven't got to play. And Nat probably doesn't want to be spoiled.
I mean, I played the original game. I have a general idea.
No. The stuff I'm spoiling, it has nothing to do with the OG stuff. That's why they're spoilers.
Right. Okay. Then yeah.
I don't particularly care because after the first one was spoiled for me, I'm just like, eh. I'm just like, I'll experience the game myself as I experience it.
Yeah. Did you know Sephiroth was in the first game?
Oh man. Wow. No, Rebirth is great. Rebirth. I genuinely do not believe of anything announced this year it has any competition.
Oh, really? Not even like Dragon's Dogma 2?
No, I don't think it has competition. I don't think Dragon's Dogma is a strong enough game. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Look, I've been wrong before. I thought Helldivers was going to be a flop. So, like, what is my assumption worth, really?
To be fair, I think 90% of everyone thought Helldivers was going to be a flop.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just going down my list of the games that
has continued to get a lot of really fun updates. That make it really cool, by the way.
They've done such a good job.
I haven't played it much since that first like week or two that I had it. But anyways, you were saying.
Yeah, going down my list of games that I know are coming out this year, like Dragon's Dogma did step up, and like Dragon's Dogma did appear that it might be a contender, but I don't think it has what it takes to beat out specifically Final Fantasy VII. If this was like an 8 or a 9 remake, maybe it has that kind of the draw, but 7's got a special place for a lot of people that don't care about JRPGs.
That is true.
And
That's true. Yeah.
there's Black Myth Wukong, which we will wait to see, but even then, I don't think it's taking away 7's crown. I just like I don't.
But
think...
you're forgetting the game that's driving the internet wild, Stella Blade.
No,
I think is what it's called.
Stellar Blade looks fucking great. Okay,
I'm gonna play the shit out of Stellar Blade. By the way, it's
hell yeah, same brother.
Like don't get me wrong, Stellar Blade is it's just Nier Automata again, and I really like Nier Automata.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never played a Nier game, so it's
oh, you're in for a wild ride.
It's probably gonna be mental, to be honest.
That one's a PlayStation exclusive, at least at first, I think.
I believe so.
So I'm probably not picking it up anytime soon, and by the time I do pick it up, it'll be out on PC.
Very likely.
So yeah, it'll be a bit before I ever touch that one.
So yeah, that's like my big thought.
Never forget Mecha Break as well.
Mecha Break.
Hopefully that comes out soon.
Oh, Mecha Break, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously not going to take 7's crown, but don't forget
it. We do have Summer
Games
Games Fest in a month and a half, so maybe something surprising will come out of there for the later half of the year.
Exactly,
that might pose a challenge.
I can only go off of what information we have.
I do agree with Dalit that nothing we have that I'm aware of in my mind, like my conscious mind, is probably going to topple 7 if it's as good as everybody seems to say it is.
Right.
I have every reason to believe it is.
Okay.
But were you playing anything before Rebirth or anything like that? I don't.
The only thing I've been playing before and after, I think I'm going to wait on because you and I can talk about that together.
Fair, because I know which one you're talking about there.
Right, and because that's been about it. Like 7 monopolized my time like that.
That's fair. It has been a few weeks. Yeah. That's fair. All right. Well,
what have you been up to, eh?
Yeah. What you been playing?
So I went back in time, right? Because I'm a time traveler in real life, and for the last 2 weeks I have been playing Persona 4 Golden. I don't remember.
Persona 3 Reload is out, and you're playing Persona 4.
Yeah, I don't.
Interesting.
I literally don't know why. It is. I don't remember why I started 4. Well, other than the fact that I don't have 3 reloads, so
right.
Unlucky
That's a pretty
me.
good reason, to be honest.
Yeah. I think that was one of the reasons, and I think I was talking to a mate at the time that was talking about Persona 4. I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'll stream it. So I've been playing that, and I still think from Persona 3 to 5, 4 is still the weakest to me.
Yeah.
But I very much appreciate the voice actors behind 4, because it is essentially just playing Final Fantasy Dissidia, but in a Persona game. Because you have Johnny Yon Bosch, which voices Firion.
Yeah.
And he voices the MC and Adachi.
Mm-hmm.
You have Troy Baker, that's Snow. You have Laura Bailey, that's Rise, that is what am I forgetting? Sarah. There we go.
Sarah as well, yeah.
Yeah. There's one more other one, but I couldn't remember. I want to say Teddy's
voiced by 2 different people depending on which version you play, right? Because it's I want to say it was originally Sam Riegel.
Yes, that's his name. I was thinking it's like Edward from Final Fantasy IV. What's his name? But yeah, Sam Riegel.
But then I think it switched over to the gentleman who plays Kakashi, whose name I'm blanking on right now.
Oh shit!
Dave Wittenberg. I believe it's Dave Wittenberg.
That
Which, by the way,
Sounds
I'm
is
correct.
not
Kafka.
sure.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Kefka.
Oh shit.
So there you
It's
have
even
it.
better.
I'm not super sure. Like Teddy's one of the voice actors that I never really remember super clearly. But Nat's right. P4 has an all-star voice cast.
Oh, for sure.
Oh
And
yeah.
me and him talked about this a little bit in one of his streams that he was streaming. That there's a lot of rumors on the internet right now about other Persona titles that are in the work. And there is one in that list that is a remake of P4G.
I imagine we'll see it, yeah.
And after watching that play it, holy crap, I actually, because before watching that play it, I was like, does P4G really need a remake? I mean,
Yes.
does it really? I
Yes.
watched
Older than
that
you
play it, and I
think.
took, like, well, 5 seconds into watching it, I was just like, oh, right, this was a Vita game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, this
Mhm.
needs a
Yeah.
remake. It looks so bad.
Like, this is the game that is now between Reload and 5. Like,
Five
that's a
Royal.
Reload and
weird
Royal,
jarring.
yeah.
Like, if you try to play through this series chronologically, it's now suddenly weird.
Yeah.
Also,
absolutely.
when they remake 4, they have to call it something with an R, so that all 3 of them have an R. Just saying.
Oh, Persona 4 Regilded.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that works because gold is very much a thematic for
Yeah.
the golden portion of that game.
There you go, Atlas. We just gave you the golden.
I got
name
you, my
for it.
guys.
Yeah,
Take it.
Regilded.
You don't even have to code
Pun
me.
completely intended. Yeah.
Yeah, like, ironically, Regilded would work actually.
So, but no, P4 has like an all-star cast, and
Yeah, it's
if
fucking
they
great.
were to remake it, and I am now very hopeful that they do, I wouldn't want that cast to change. The cast being changed with 3 makes perfect sense.
People said that about 3, though, yeah.
Like I think the cast change for 3 was the right idea, especially when like in the old 3 there were like 4 different people that were voicing multiple characters, and now that's not as much of a thing.
Yeah.
And they absolutely killed it on the casting in P3R. So not at all biased in that, because Alejandro voicing that.
Yeah. Just real quick, I remember the last one. Yosuke is voiced by Cecil Harvey. So
That's true. That's correct.
Yeah. So yeah, good voice actors and actresses. If they ever do a remake of 4, I really hope they bring back everyone.
I can almost guarantee you they won't. I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah.
Despite all of these actors still working.
It's I don't know. It's they're all still working, but it's that's a hard one because P4 has seen a lot of iterations from original P4 to golden to the animation to the golden animation to Q.
I have to assume it has the most
so
iterations
many
of itself.
Yeah, it's so many. And they kept the cast for all of them.
Yeah, for sure.
So they have a very, very present, like even in the dancing one and all that, they have a very present, like, they're not as like old and forgotten, so to speak, as like 3 would be.
Sure.
They're still very present in the memory of the fan base as a whole, and they have very memorable and notable voices. So
I would agree.
And since all of those are still active voice actors, I think they would try their best.
I don't
to get
because they didn't with 3. All of the original voice actors are in 3. They're just not playing those characters anymore.
That is true.
Are they?
Yeah.
I only remember
they make appearances as NPCs.
Yep. I remember hearing about that.
Yep.
I only remember 2, and I guess one of them was Elizabeth.
Yeah. 4 still comes in before the generational shift in voice acting.
Yes.
Not to say that like voice acting is somehow way better now, but there is a new generation of actors, and more importantly, in my mind, a new generation of direction. Like things now feel, I hate to say it, better. Like, one of my big issues growing up, or not growing up, but when I first got into like the industry, was I didn't like how uneven performances were. Like, really good actors always stood out, but there are always actors that needed a little bit of help. They weren't bad. They just required direction to get the most out of them, and it was pretty clear it wasn't there. And I see that less and less now.
Right.
That might be in part because a lot of the really good voice actors from that previous generation you're talking about now do a lot of voice directing for stuff.
Yes, I would agree.
Because I know if I'm not mistaken, that's what Liam O'Brien does mostly now, isn't it?
I know it's what Sam Riegel does mostly now. I don't know about
It's what Sam does mostly now. I
know,
it was one of the two. I couldn't remember which.
Sam definitely does. Mary McGlynn does. Like, yeah, you're not wrong. And like, obviously, this is the next level for them. If they can no longer be cast as the things that they were cast for so long, they'll now be cast as like major secondary characters. People's family members are strong, older characters, and finding a place in the industry can get hard for anyone who gets older. I'm sure this is not a surprise to anyone. So moving into this direction makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, it should be noted, and again, I mean no disrespect, I grew up with these dubs like the rest of you. The floor is higher now. The talent coming out now is just better than it was. Like, people are better actors earlier in their career compared to the previous generation. Previous generation had absolute fucking star power, right? By the end, all these names, like they were amazing.
Yeah.
But I think if you were to put them side by side with like some of the talent there now, I just think it's better now. And I think we'll be seeing, like, this is just how it works for everything. Every generation forces the floor higher.
Right. Okay.
And we wouldn't be as good if not for them being amazing.
I see where you're coming from.
Like, who do you think we studied?
Yeah.
You, Dad. We learned from watching you.
It's one of those things, like, you get a lot of incredible voice actors that come along and they become the new, like, ideal that up and coming voice actors. Like, voice actors coming into now look up to, Laura, look up to Matthew Mercer, they look up to Mary McGlynn, they look up to all of these amazing voice actors that came before, just like they all looked up to voice actors before them, which I'm not as good with the names from the generation before them. So
what's fucked up is I'm not even necessarily that's entirely true. Just because of the nature of the beast, right? Dubbing was pretty new. Like, Mary McGlynn and Steve Bloom.
But there are still a lot of really good, voice actors in that generation before, but they're not what you would typically consider for voice actors. Because if you look at the people that did, like, the old cartoons, like, did the Mario voices, that did the like, Bugs Bunny, the Daffy Duck, those.
So
I feel like those definitely played an inspiration.
Oh yeah. Like Mel Blanc, just everyone loves him. He's easily one of the best.
That was the name I was trying to think of.
Mount Rushmore of voiceover for sure, 100%.
Right. So.
Right.
Well, besides the all-star cast of P4, you've been playing P4 now.
Yeah.
Yes. And I've been bitching and complaining about it, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to start playing P5. Because it's very much showing its age, and as Dylan has said, it's in between two modern fucking Persona games now, so it needs work. Mostly just gameplay and visual. Again, storytelling is fine. You also mentioned this as well, Dylan, but like this was off recording, right? That you can you know who the bad guy is, right? By just simply playing it. So it's not it's not that hard, because it is very much who's the bad guy, that sort of investigation storyline, right? And so I don't think the story and the narrative and the direction of it is bad. It's pretty good. It is still technically the weakest between 3 and 5.
3 and 5 are absolute monsters to compete against, though.
Yeah. I mean, except for Morgana and 5, but
Yeah, I don't think it's so terrible that 4's the weak link between the two, right? Because something has to be. But also, I think it lives up to its scale. 3 is world ending, 5 is also kind of world ending. It's
They're always
slightly more
world
complicated.
ending.
I did true ending literally last night. Like I finished the game off. It is also world ending.
It is always
All right, let me
world
rephrase.
ending.
but
in
it's more
Persona.
but it's more but the more specific is humans wanting to live a blind life rather than
Right.
seeing the
Like
truth.
the
Sort
level
of
of world ending is
ending.
different because with 3 the
And
world
this is what I
ending
meant,
was
Yeah.
right?
death. It was literally an
Yes.
incarnation of death
Yeah.
was coming to the world to
Exactly.
destroy everything. With 4 it's,
Yeah.
you know, people don't want
A
a blanket of fog. People
fog.
don't want to see the
and-
truth. This has an
Yeah.
effect. With 5 it was the world losing its free will. So
Yeah.
I think 4 being the Scooby-Doo story of them isn't bad. And I think it like people say
That's a
that as an
great
insult all the time, and
comparison.
I'm like, right? Like this is Mystery Inc. These are a bunch of
It
kids
really
who
is.
end up being pretty okay detectives and sniffing out the problem. And I think in terms of what they set up, it's done fairly well. But because of that, it feels
Yeah.
like, you know, it's not as if they were to fail, it wouldn't be as detrimental. Like the what's the word I'm looking for? The price of failure isn't as steep, and it recognizes that. And I think it plays to its strength. So yeah, it's probably the
Right.
least. It's probably the least good of the stories, but I still think like Persona 4 is fine
I mean, it still was
yeah,
the
no, it's
introduction to a
fine.
lot of people in Persona.
for a lot of people. Yeah,
I would compare Persona 4, more specifically Persona 4 not Golden, to be like the Dragon Quest 8 for Persona. It is like the most popular.
Golden.
Well, it's the one that like it.
No,
I would say
it is
normal
golden.
P4.
Most people came into the series with.
You think it's Golden? Really, I think it's normal P4 on the PS2 that introduced
Nope.
Persona.
Because if the PS2 was going to do it,
really,
they would have played P3 or P3 Fest. It's
I
literally
do actually agree
golden.
with that.
It's literally golden being on a handheld system.
Yeah, but people wouldn't know about P3 Fest. Maybe P3, but not Fest.
It's the same thing though. Like it wasn't the one that did it. Not everybody played P3. The people that played P3 were the people that were already Persona fans for the most part. Not many people came into the series with P3 in comparison to P4. To be fair, that's been outdone by P5 now.
Far and away.
But no, P4G is in fact it brought in more people than base P4 did.
I would also agree, but mostly because I think most things that came after P4 informed people to go back to play it. That whether it be Golden or the fighting games or Q or the dancing games, I think those kind of informed people that Persona is something that's like big now. Let me just go check it out, and then they retroactively found things.
Wait, what do you mean Persona 4 is in the first game in the Persona series? What? The amount of people that unironically think that is actually baffling. Anyway.
Did you play anything besides Persona or anything else you want to add to Persona?
Yeah, I beat it last night on True Ending, New Game Plus. Margaret was fun on the hardest difficulty. I actually struggled with her, finally. Because that game is not hard.
It's true.
Yeah, Margaret was fun. I liked her. But other than that, no, not really. I haven't really played much other than that. I mean, off stream, I'm playing fucking Master Duels for whatever reason.
I mean, yeah.
Because I hate myself.
Playing off stream is still things you've been playing. So
yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel I've been playing. So yeah.
Anniversary happened.
Yeah, the anniversary
2-year anniversary for that game. So
yep, still waiting for a Red Eyes Black Dragon structure deck or just anything to do with that fucking archetype. You know, just sitting here.
I will say,
waiting.
Just how I think Magic the Gathering Arena was a great idea for Magic the Gathering players and being able to play digitally and online instead of the bi-yearly like limited selection games they were releasing for the longest time. A game that they can
Right.
constantly update and add to as new stuff comes out. It was a great addition for Magic. Yu-Gi-Oh did the same thing, and honestly, Yu-Gi-Oh kind of does it a lot better than Magic in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Because they didn't start with a limited pool; they came out with all of it's there. It
Mm-hmm.
feels a lot more free to play friendly than the Magic one does.
Oh yeah.
You can craft stuff in it. Like if you get so many cards of a certain rarity you don't want, you can trade them in for material and use that to craft the cards of that rarity you do want. Things like that.
Which you're going to need to do, especially if you want Cash Tira, because that does not have a fucking archetype packet for whatever reason.
But things like that, it came out being way more polished than I think Arena did at launch. I haven't played Arena in a long time now. Maybe it's better. I don't think it is. Mostly for negative thoughts about that, but I'm not gonna air them here and now. So yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, great game, great addition. I'm happy to see they continue to do really good things by their players. Like it's
Yeah. One thing I always, even though I bitch and complain about Master Duels and fighting other people and all that, one thing I always praise Master Duel for doing is they have one currency, and you can use that currency to just buy the battle pass.
God
Essentially,
bless. That should
It's
be the
fucking great.
standard.
Oh god, yes, please, because you literally do not need to. I have not paid a single cent for this game, and just simply doing dailies gives me enough gems to buy the battle pass, and with that battle pass I get all the extra stuff. It's amazing. It's perfect.
when I have an itch to play a card game, it's usually I'll open up Master Duel and I'll play some Yu-Gi-Oh. But as I've said in the podcast before, I've played almost every card game out there. It feels like, and as I was telling Nat last night off stream, I think I don't have a big like passion for card games anymore. I don't have a huge interest to play them much anymore.
Right.
So I don't very often anymore. How many more times can I say anymore in a sentence? uh, but when I do it is I'll usually open up Master Duel, and with the anniversary, I opened up. I played a little bit. I got some cards.
Yeah, he's got my Black Luster Soldier packet that I wanted. So
Yeah.
congrats to him.
They do this thing. They did it at the first anniversary, and they did it with the second. There's like 9 packets that are each of them are like a specific archetype of cards, usually the popular ones. And you open a pack. It's a normal pack, but it's like it has a boosted chance for cards in that archetype. And then you get one extra card after opening the pack that is a guaranteed you are in that archetype in the high foil level.
Yeah, the glossy, shiny card.
Yeah, and at the 1 year anniversary, I did this, and I chose like the 3 archetypes I did not play. I had like no interest in, and I was like, great, thanks, appreciate it. This year, I chose 2 of the same ones because it's random. I chose 2 of the same ones, and then I chose one that I actually liked. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, thanks.
Which was the Black Luster Soldier.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe at the 3 year anniversary, I'll be able to get 2 that I like.
Yeah, for me, it was, I got Blue Earth Chaos Max Dragon, TG Commander, I want to say, and then I got Harpy's Feather Duster, and Black Luster Soldier was next to my Harpy's card, and I was so fucking mad. I could have gotten my Black Luster Soldier card. So,
One day.
One day, yeah.
Just Master Duel, add a way to spend the gems if that's what it takes. And it can be an absurd amount. I don't care. Just add a way for me to foil cards if I already have them. Because I have the 3 God card alternate arts, but my raw isn't foil while my other 2 are, and I can't get that raw anymore. So I have no way of getting a foil version of that art to match the other 2, and it bugs me. Bro, I will spend like 3,000 gems if that's what it takes. Let me do it. Just let me do it.
Probably ask for that pricing. Because that's what the price. That's the pricing for the anniversary stuff is 3,000 gems.
That's
So
why that's the
I can
number I
see
said.
yeah.
Okay. So Master Duel, some P4G. Cool.
Yep. And then once I get back to streaming in a couple of days, it's going to be P5R on the PS4 because I don't have it on Steam. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
I want to pick P5R up on my PC and play through it again. Like I have my
And
PS4, it's sitting right
sale
there.
right now.
Like I have my PS4 sitting right there. I have P5R on it, but it's just I've just got where I don't particularly care for gaming on my TV as much anymore. I just like sitting at my desk, looking at my monitors, because it's a lot quicker to like pause what I'm doing and go to another monitor, chat in Discord, or check something on a browser on another window or whatever. Especially with the way my room's organized. Maybe if I like had a different organization in my room, like my TV was closer to where my desk is, and I could like sit at the same spot, maybe that'd be different. But as it is, it's like I have to go like I'm basically having to sit on the other side of my room to sit at my TV and like play a game. And it's
yeah, okay. I can see how that'd be a bit troublesome.
It's not a big deal, but it's just like I prefer being at my desk. That way I'm readily able to access anything that I need. I'm easier to reach because
that's like the one for me.
Yeah, my Discord's right there. Everything's right there. I have space that I can set stuff on my desk. So if I need to set something down, or if I'm like eating, I can set my plate right next to me. Whereas there's nothing really like that where I'd have to sit to get a good view at my TV.
Right.
So, it's really minor reasons, but I'm just kind of like, I am slowly transitioning to the point where I don't even really want consoles. I just want all my games on my computer anyways.
Welcome.
Same.
Welcome. I've been here for years.
I honestly, I transitioned a while back because I didn't get the PS5 at launch, even though I did pre-order one. I wasn't able to pick it up because I made a mistake.
Right. Unfortunately.
And I just didn't really feel that bad after not getting it, and really had no intention of picking one up, honestly, until 16 came out. And I was just like, I really don't want to. Yeah, I really don't want to be spoiled on Final Fantasy 16. It's like I didn't feel that way with Rebirth, probably because I had been spoiled with Remake, so it's just kind of like, oh well at that point. 16 did kind of put me in that point where I really just don't want to be spoiled by this game, so I did end up picking it up. But nothing else on the horizon elicits that response. Looking back on it, I don't think 16, as much as I loved it, I don't think it really deserved that response from me. I think I would have been fine waiting for it to come to PC, honestly. So I'm just like, I don't think I really need the consoles anymore. Just put all my stuff, all these games, just put them out on PC. Forget consoles, put them all out on PC. Microsoft pretty much already does that with all of their stuff. Sony to it.
I was about to say, yeah.
Sony, get on that game. Just put it all out on PC. Also,
Bloodborne. Sony.
Yeah, Bloodborne, please.
Bloodborne.
Also, with that, like a lot of the series that are PlayStation exclusive that I really care about either aren't exclusive anymore, and they come to like all systems. 16 being a surprise there because prior to that, Final Fantasy had kind of left that exclusivity zone with them, I think. Because 15 was also exclusive at first, wasn't it?
I'm just saying, I think it was just 13 was a surprising.
Yeah. So they went back to it with 15. But I was always a PlayStation gamer anyways. But anyways, I know Persona was another big PlayStation title for me, but now because of the deal, or Microsoft owns Atlas, or the deal with Atlas.
I think it's a deal. I don't think they own them.
Yeah,
I can assure you they don't own them.
Right. 3s all came out on Xbox and PC. And the way it's sounding on the internet, the same can be said for every Persona-based title in the future, including 6, if it comes out anytime soon.
6.
So it's just kind of like, oh, well, that's all coming to PC first anyways.
It's just
so I would like to have this entire series together.
Yeah, I would also like P1 and 2 to come out on PC as well. Yeah, granted, I can emulate it, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, there is something to be said about 1 and 2 that by the time this episode comes out will have already been said. So I'll let that episode speak for itself. Um, but so you're going to P5R next.
Yes, that is correct.
Nice.
And then afterwards, I plan on playing Fire Emblem, either Fates or Engage.
Engage is the newest one, right?
Yes.
I haven't played that one.
So have I. So it's going to be new and hopefully fun. I've heard nothing but bad things about it, saying that everything's boring except for the combat system. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Fates was the last one I like in depth played because I played all but the final route, and I did. It's not that I didn't play it; I just didn't finish it.
Right.
But I did all of those back to back to back. So by the time I was almost done with the third route, I had just burned out.
Yeah,
that's
amazing.
amazing.
And then when Three Houses came out, I got it. I started a route and I never finished. So I need to go back and finish that too.
I need to finish my Deer route. I never picked up the DLC.
Well, once I start Three Houses, maybe you guys would like to join me, even though it's not co-op.
I want.
Okay, I was about to say.
Just co-play it.
That's not going to happen because I have such a log of games to play through.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to add on there, Nat?
I've somewhat started SMT3 again, but not really. That was just more.
Great thing you said that.
Oh.
I was working on one of our podcast episodes earlier this week. Maybe it was the week before this. We have a great habit on this podcast of talking about something, putting the episode out, and like the day after we record it, we get news about the thing we were talking about.
Yeah, I know.
This
is the third or fourth time already.
Like, that happened with Power World. We got all the information about Power World like the day after we
literally
recorded
the next
it.
day.
Yeah.
We talked in an episode about wanting Shin Megami Tensei 5 on the PC. 2 days later, we get a Nintendo Direct talking about Vengeance coming to PC and Switch and everything. And I'm just like, bruh, why does this keep happening to us? Because by the time our episodes come out, like the new news is already out, right? So it's just like, we just look stupid. We just look stupid.
Oh, gosh.
That's what happens, man.
Yeah.
It's the curse of the podcasts.
Look, listeners,
real.
We're not stupid. We're seeing into the future. Yeah, we're psychics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just by the time you actually hear us make our predictions, it's already happened.
Yes, exactly.
I'll just put away my crystal ball then.
I'm just pondering my orb. Don't mind me. But yeah, I really want to play SMT5 Vengeance. It sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Same.
I when that announcement came out, I was just like, all right, screw any chance of me going back to my run of 5 normal.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel the same way.
I'm gonna wait till Vengeance because apparently there's almost the entire game's worth of additional content. Somebody was telling me they said
it's kind of like a remake, but not really.
I didn't hear an entire game's worth of new content. What I heard was we're going to get an entirely new route, which could mean that there's maybe a quarter's worth of a game of content or less. But on top of that, there are new further aspects. So we're probably looking for about 25 to 33% more content. I don't know about a whole new game's worth though.
Well, I didn't mean a whole news game, like almost a whole news game. I was thinking like around 50% range. So
I mean, it's not unreasonable that we get something that big. I would love that to be true, but I can absolutely see it being true as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't hear it. Somebody told me that's what they heard. Heard them say or whatever. Right. I hope they're right too. But yeah, no, it just killed any chance of me going back to playing the version on my Switch. Yep. And it's also why, like, there's a new game that came out recently that people have been playing. They were playing it a lot, especially before Rebirth. Unicorn Overlord.
Yeah.
It looks so good, but right now it's only
so
on consoles.
Pretty. Oh my goodness.
It's only on consoles, and I'm just sitting here like, so I could pick it up on a console, but then it's going to come out on PC when I do that. So
And then you're gonna have
100%.
to rebuy it.
I'm just going to wait. Because at this point,
Yeah.
every time I pick up something on my console, it just comes out on PC shortly after. The only thing that I'm going to exclude from this are the things that are exclusive, or like they're
Bloodborne.
exclusives for a temporary time, and I've been playing that series on a console already, i.e., God of War, Final Fantasy VII,
Yeah.
Spider-Man. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
I feel that.
that's fair.
But yeah. Was that everything for you, Nat?
Yeah, I've just been playing on and off SMT3. I'm not like actually streaming it. I'm just playing it to kill time, more or less.
Yeah,
but yeah,
wait, fair.
but yeah, SMT5 Vengeance. Can't wait to play it
Same.
eventually. And yeah, that's it for me.
So, for me,
For you.
kind of following off Nat here.
Oh,
Well, following off both of you in a way.
oh,
I was about to sit down and start playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. Because I wanted to play through Remake and integrate the DLC before Rebirth came out.
right.
I was about to sit down and do that. It was like my plans of the next thing I was going to play. And then a friend buys me Persona 3 Reload.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, there goes any chance of me getting Remake done before Rebirth. So, okay.
Yep.
And just like I said in our previous episode where I complained about not having it, I started playing it and streaming it. And I started it and my intention was, I'm only going to stream my playthrough this. I'm going to stream my playthrough playing through this. It's going to be like my go-to stream game for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if either of you have noticed, I haven't streamed much for the last month or so. I have one problem, and I've said this so many times before in casual conversation with you guys in Discord and just in general. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but my hardest, or like my biggest difficulty or the hardest thing about streaming to me is
Starting?
Tank anxiety.
no, I like watching streams. I like listening to streams, and I can't do that when I'm streaming.
Yeah, same. Especially when you're playing at JRPGs as well, and you're in the grind section. You're like, I can't.
It's one thing. Yeah, it's one thing to be like playing a JRPG in the story, and then turn that you turn the streams and stuff off. You focus on the story.
Right.
But then when you get to the grind portions, or you're just goofing off in the game, or whatever, you'd like to have something in the background to kind of just listen to, whether it's
100%.
music, whether it's music, a stream, a video. Can't do that if I myself am streaming.
Yeah.
So it's made streaming very, very difficult for me.
Well,
that's not even just a Persona 3 thing. That's just always been my problem.
It's in general. Yeah, no, I get that.
Because there's so many amazing, like I've said this before. I said this when we talked about content creation. There's so many amazing creators out there. And I love their content. I love listening to them play games, listening to them talk about stuff, all of that. And it's just like, when I'm playing a game or something off stream, I can, multitask. I can listen. I can kind of watch out of the corner of my eye while I'm playing games or doing whatever. But when I'm streaming, I can't do that. And that in and of itself makes streaming for me very hard. Maybe that means I'm not super suited for streaming. I don't know.
That is a possibility.
It also would help if I most of all these creators stream in the evening, right? If I could stream earlier in the day, I wouldn't have this issue. But because of life and work situations, I can't. So that might be the issue. Maybe I just need to wait till I'm at a better, different point in my life before trying to stream more. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
But yeah, so my deal is I'm going to put this as my game for stream. This is what I'm playing on stream for the foreseeable future. But I wasn't streaming because I was watching streams. I was listening to streams. I was doing stuff like that. So I wasn't getting very far. And I'm just like, man, I want to play Persona, but I don't want to stop and stream. I want watch this crossover stream. I want to watch this cool stream that this one person's doing. Streamer so and so is doing something really interesting, or streamer so and so is playing this game that I never thought they'd play. I want to see what they think of it. You know, that kind of thing kept happening. I was like, oh, I want to watch. I want to watch. And so I just watched and didn't stream, so I didn't play Persona. I was usually playing Star Rail while I waited, or while I was doing that, and in the process, have finally caught up in Star Rail. So hey, thumbs up. Luocha finally reruns in a week, and please, for my sanity, let me get him. But
is he still overpowered as a healer?
Oh god,
he's so strong.
He literally, you get him, you don't have to worry about so much playing that game.
Okay, that's good.
But it got to the point where finally I was like, you know what? Screw it. I want to play a game. I don't want to play a gacha game. I don't want to play this crap. I want to play a game.
You want to play
I want to play
game, Matt?
a video game. I want to play Persona 3 that I've been waiting over a decade for. So I said, you know what? Screw it. I'll just pick up stream where I pick it up or whatever. When I play it, it'll be jumping around. You know, streams will just be at random points wherever I decide to stream and I play. So I get into the groove of playing Persona 3, and oh my god, I love Persona 3. It's so good. I said in that last episode when I was complaining about not having it, I wanted to get it. I wanted to play it and see where it compared to P5 for me and which one I liked more, which was my favorite. I still can't tell you. I love them both so much. P3 is so good. Everything about this remake is amazing. If I've only found really, and I'm not super far, and there's a reason for that. Besides the streaming thing, the streaming thing had a lot to do with it, but I'm not super far. I'm about at the second boss, I think, like main story boss.
Shit, you are
like
not far at all.
I'm not super far. Quite a bit between bosses in that game. Like, I don't know. It feels like the time between bosses in that game is longer than it does between bosses in like P5 or P4.
Oh my god! Don't get me started on P4's fucking
like it just feels like you. It feels like you have so much time between bosses in P3.
Right.
Maybe that's just a perception thing. I don't know.
It certainly sounds like a Persona thing, to be fair, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's usually some length between bosses to bosses.
Yeah, but I'm only like on the second boss, just after it, whatever. But where was I going with this? Oh, so like even in that far, the only quip I've really found is technically something I looked up online ahead of time out of curiosity. And so I found out that way, not because I actually experienced it. So when they made P5R, there was free DLC. Actually, I think the DLC was part of P5, but it came with R at base.
Right.
Where you could get the previous protagonists' personas.
Yeah.
As like summonable, usable personas for Joker.
Yeah.
They gave them specifically. They gave Thanatos, and I think they did it for Orpheus, Messiah, and I think Izanagi had one actually, but I can't remember.
Izanagi no Okami.
Yeah, but like they gave them their own like unique attack because they're the signature persona of the main character.
Yeah.
Because Arsene had his own thing. Well,
are you talking about Arsene or Sentinel?
No, I'm sorry.
Yes. No, just yes in general.
Yes. So
Arsene did have something unique to him.
Yeah, Arsene had something.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, Arsene had something unique to him, and so did Satsunael. And so they did that to the previous protagonist personas. Yeah. All 5 of them, because Yu has 3.
Yep.
Or not Yu. Makoto has 3. Yu has 2. So I thought, when they remake it, why wouldn't they give them those unique abilities, right?
Right.
because they have the data, they have the attacks, they have the animations and stuff. Why not do it? And now maybe it was more to be true to form of being as close to the original as possible, and they didn't. And it doesn't take a lot away because, Thanatos is still super strong. Um, you never really stick with your beginner persona in a persona game anyways. So that makes sense too.
Unless you do a challenge run, but generally, yes.
Yeah,
Well, we'll circle back to it. I think it's the point that it bookends your runs.
I mean, when I do new game pluses, I usually slowly turn my starting persona into a powerhouse through some means, somehow, skill cards and stuff, making it so that they're actually a viable persona to use if I wanted to.
Yeah.
A lot easier in, I want to say, Royal with all the options it gave you to enhance the persona. But
I would say 4 as well, but
yeah. Yeah, I think 4 did as well. It's been a while since I played it. Reload has the same thing. I can do it in Reload when I go through my playthrough on that to turn Orpheus into something really strong if I want to. So
yeah.
really cool. But it was Thanatos especially that I was really hoping for him to keep his Door to Hades skill.
Oh, that's his
because
ability.
Because it was a really cool name, really cool animation. I really liked it, and they didn't. And I was like, that's kind of a bummer. Like, so he's literally one for like the persona skills for Thanatos. As far as I saw, were 1-for-1 for what they were in the original P3. Which isn't saying they're bad. He still has like high, like the super in-game dark skills and stuff.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But it's just like, man, I just wanted the cool animation and everything because Lord knows Thanatos would be like one of the main personas I use in
P3. Right, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's cool. Besides that, I have no complaints with P3R thus far. I cannot think of any going ahead that I will have based off of things I've heard and seen. It's so good. I'm so happy they did it. And the one thing that wasn't in the game was announced to be coming, and that's episode Aegis.
Right.
And that's the one thing that was in it that I wanted, and now we're getting it.
We're
and then some of the new things they added, the linked episode things are really cool. Because it lets you it tackles like my one major quip with original P3, being that there was no like outside of the main story like connection building with the male crew support cast and stuff.
Yeah,
and the linked episodes feature in the game basically does that, and it's just really cool. It's like a social link without being a social link. I came into the series with P4G, like so many others. And, all of your team in P4G, just like in P5, all of your team, you have a social link with. You can build that connection. And it makes sense, right? Because they're the people you're fighting with, working with, especially in the case of P3, because you are literally fighting death off together. So, it makes sense building a link with them and whatnot. But it was only with the females so that they were romanceable by the protagonist. And then the males kind of were left on the wayside. When they did Portable, they made the female protagonist, and they did the flip there. It's the same problem, but just flipped in that scenario. So I don't consider that a solution. It's just flipping the problem. Still a problem.
Right.
But with this and P3R, there's linked episodes. So that you could build that connection with the male characters without them having to be social links. And I thought that was really cool. A really nice feature.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody mentioned to me that the remake of 3 and any other potential remakes we get before 6 are there to test features for 6.
Oh,
so there's a part of me that wonders, and this is probably not what they're going to do, but hear me out and just consider it and don't instantly shoot me down here.
Okay.
Because most people out there will instantly.
Depending on what you say, we'll see.
these linked episodes are an amazing idea. When you do P6 and you have your main crew of characters you control, make them all linked episodes and just give us a whole slew of unique characters for the social links. That way you can build your bond with your crew and get all of their evolved personas and everything without having to worry about social stats, without having to worry about progressing a social link and all of that stuff. And you can even do the P5 thing of, as you do their linked episodes, they get special abilities or whatever. Do your entire crew that way. And then have all your social links be individual and unique characters. And that would be really cool. It would give you a chance to, just put more interesting characters in your game, more interesting social links, and just kind of, it would just be really cool. I think that would be really cool if you just did that way. That way you never really have, it kind of avoids the scenario that kind of in theory would avoid the scenario that Haru had at the end of P5, right? She joined you so late in the game, most people aren't able or don't get the chance to.
No, just straight up don't want to put effort in her.
I'm not sure. So I see what you're saying. I don't know that I buy that as the excuse for Haru. I like Persona 5 quite a lot. I'm not the biggest Persona fan in the world, but I do like Persona 5 quite a lot. I think, to be as uncharitable as possible, I chalk Haru up to bad writing, because to make Haru immediately more approachable, she should have had social events throughout the game, despite not being a member of your party. She should have been established early on.
Just
I don't remember that.
Sumire in also 5.
You bump into her in several school things. They're very small interactions, but she is a named character, a portraited character that keeps popping up throughout.
No. I mean, you should be having meaningful experiences with her from the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I mean, like Sumire.
You should have.
You should, like, the fact that anything of consequence. Social link. Thank you, Lord of mercy. I'm struggling on that.
I agree.
You should have those
social links before she.
I agree, but here's the quip. Because they lock character or party member social links to after they join your party, they couldn't do that with her because she didn't join your party until so late. And that's part of the flaw. And that's part of the flaw that doing the linked episodes for your party would solve as well.
Right. I think the only issue I have with that, and it's not a real issue, like, it's just it's thematically, because as I recall, your main party and very special side characters are all major arcana, and minor arcana gets left out for second, like, tertiary, honestly, characters. But that aside, I think the idea that you're putting forward is super solid.
I think it would be a great idea. It would let, like, P6 have a much larger cast of cool side characters to interact with. It would let everybody, it would remove the hassle of, bonding with the team member you want to bond with, because another issue that with Haru, again, her being so late in the game, is on your first playthrough, at least, you're still working on so many other social links
and social
because
stats.
You have to work up your social stats to do those social links.
Yep.
That when they add this new one, you're just not going to. She just ends up being like, because at that point, I think she is the last social link that you can unlock.
Pre-royal stuff, yes. Oh,
I think even
actually, wouldn't the royal stuff actually
Yeah.
happen before that?
Everything. She is the last social link you unlock in P5. Royal,
because of the way they told her story, like, they really dicked her over narratively. Like, introducing her in a real way.
It is
so late.
Yeah, and it's so late. That in a first run, that unless you just happen to have all of the social stats you need where they need to be for her.
Well, if you're looking at guide, then yeah.
And then ignore everybody else.
Which is really not worth it, I'm going to be real.
And on your first
especially
playthrough, I wouldn't
Go
recommend
on,
that.
tell me.
You're probably not going to max her.
No.
Because as memory serves, base P5, you could not max every social link on your first playthrough. It was not possible.
No. You just didn't have the days for it.
P5R, I think you can.
Yeah.
Because even on your first playthrough in P5R, you can actually beat every palace in one day. So,
yep.
Because they removed the horrible ammo system, so it's so much easier. Yeah. So with that, was a little bit better, but still, I just think taking your main cast and making them like these linked episodes, just the entirety of them, is a great idea. Super cool idea. And then just leaving all of your social links to be side supporting characters to the main cast, like I'm drawing a blank on all the names from the other games, but like your little sister character from 4, Nanako,
best girl,
like Sojiro from 5, like these really important supporting characters. It just lets you put more of them in there and let them be social links and things like that. And that's
right. Yeah.
I think is a better idea. If you want a social link that's tied to the main crew, do the P3, P4 thing of making the entire crew as a whole one social link and tie it to Full or Judgment or something like that.
Full, yeah.
Yeah. Do that, and then let your actual individual building with each of them be like the linked episodes. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, I've really loved P3R, what I've got to play of it. Haven't got to play much. There's a reason I haven't got to play much. Because after I finally get to the point where I'm like, all right, screw it. I'm going to just play it off stream. And then when I stream, it'll just be picking up wherever I am, right?
Right.
I get gifted Grand Blue Relink.
Yeah, you did.
And
you have joined us.
I think that was exactly a week ago. I think it was last Sunday night that it was given to me.
Was it? Oh god, it felt more recent than that. Oh.
Maybe no, it wasn't. It was last Monday. Because it was a little bit after Sunday. Yes, it was Monday or Tuesday, whichever it was. I want to say it was Monday. That it was gifted to me, and Tuesday when I started, because my friend said, because we just got all the information about the updates. I think it was Monday. We got all the information about the updates, and I saw that in May they were adding Sandalphon to the playable character.
Sandy,
and that's my favorite character in Grand Blue on the male side. Tied for my favorite character altogether.
Who's the other one?
Tiamat is my girl. So
oh, fair. Wasn't expecting
Tiamat
that.
Tiamat and Sandalphon are like my two favorite characters in Grand Blue. I don't know why. For Tiamat, I just know when I first looked at Grand Blue, something about her design I just drew me in, and I was like, "Yep, I love this character. She looks awesome."
For sure.
After playing Grand Blue, what I've played of it, she's a cool character and I like her. She's not like super like strong character wise, kind of like Sandalphon has a huge like strong backstory and character things to pull him in. She's not quite that strong, but she's still a really cool character. I really like her. Anyways, beside the point.
True.
They announced Sandalphon as a playable character. I'm like, oh, I have to play. It's my boy. And then also they announced before Sandalphon another character, one I wasn't familiar with, I am now familiar with, is coming and being voiced by Alejandro. And I'm like, oh, it's my boy, but in a different sense. So I'm like, man, they really want me to play. Well, a mutual friend who has been on the cast, so that should really narrow it down, because we've only had one friend on the cast besides us, saw that and was like, hey, Matt would like this. Hey, Matt, this means you have to play. I'm like, yeah, I know. And he was like, I'll get it for you on my next paycheck. And I was like, you don't have to do that. I'll find a way to get it. And he's like, no, I'm getting it for you. I'm like, okay, I guess. And then I turn my computer off, everything. I go to bed because I have to get up the next morning for something, and my phone dings. I'm like, why is my phone dinging? And I look at my phone. You received a gift on Steam. There's Relink. I turn around and message him. I said, I thought you were getting it on your next paycheck. I was weak.
Oh.
Look, what part of the more the merrier don't you get? That's how
He
this
was like-
crew operates.
He's like, you get it like 6 days early. Congratulations. And I'm like, did you have the money for this? And he's like, no, it's good. I just went ahead and got it for you. And I'm like, oh, okay. As long as you didn't like hurt yourself here. But
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah, he was. I verified. I was like, I would have felt terrible otherwise. But yeah, anyways, all that beside the point. So I got it. I downloaded it that morning, went to do what I had to do, came back, started playing it. It's consumed my life in the days since.
Yeah, it has.
Any free
like
time
that.
I have has been put into Relink.
And will be in the future.
And will be in the future. I said it earlier tonight. My plan is when I'm finally no longer absorbed in Relink, which isn't anytime soon, I'm going to go finish P3R. Then I'm going to go finally do my remake playthrough on 7 and integrated playthrough so that I can finally play Rebirth whenever I pick it up. And that's as far as I planned out as I have. But that's no time soon because Relink has consumed me.
Yeah,
And-
no, it is like that.
And I beat the main story in 20 hours. It took me 20 hours to get through the main story of the game.
God
Checks
damn.
out.
Which I think, from what I gather, is pretty on average. A few
Yeah, I'd
people
say so.
A few people said you did it a little faster than most people, and I'm like, well, I kind of liked it. I just charged head through it. I didn't stop to do any missions or anything. I just story charged through.
Yeah.
Man, this game is so much fun. Man, I love
Mhm.
this game.
Yeah, I wasn't joking when I was talking about it.
And I was excited about it too, right? Like, I was right there with you in the excitement for this game. But I just wasn't in a spot to pick up the game because of how work and stuff is for me. Picking up games isn't always a in the moment when it comes out thing for me.
Yeah,
usually it's a little bit down. Yeah, usually it's a little bit down the line. Sometimes a little late. So I was excited for it, and so I was super happy to get the game. And because it was given to me as a gift, I was like, all right, I gotta play it, now because they want me to play it now. I'm not gonna get it now and then wait until my boy comes out in 2 months to play it. I'll start playing it now. I'll start prepping.
You'll
now.
be ready. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be ready, which is the entire reason that they went ahead and got it for me now. And I think I've put in total 65 hours into the game pre this recording. And 20 hours through the story, the rest of it into doing stuff. I've done all the Proud quests minus Lucilius because I was like super carried through it. Let's be fair.
You backpacked us.
I had a crew of people that were already done with the Bahamut farm. They're ready to help me clear through everything. So I've cleared them. I'm not ready to fight Lucilius yet. I'm nowhere near that. I still need to farm Bahamut like crazy.
Yeah.
But I still have other farms I need to do on top of that.
So I asked Say this because I was playing with her earlier today and we got to the proto farm. How many characters do you have unlocked right now?
All of the base cast plus 3.
The base cast.
All the characters you get for free because they are the base cast plus 3.
Yeah.
I've
okay,
unlocked
good. That means you
3
listened
characters.
and you understand.
Well, yeah, you warned me. You warned me literally day one when I was playing. You were like, hey, this is what happens with your Terminus weapons. You have a chance of getting one, and what you get is based off the characters you get. I was
Oh, yeah, I
planning.
remember hearing this.
So if you unlock all 12, I think it is 12 or 13 additional characters on top of the 6 that are free, 6, 7 that are free, it's a pool of like 19 people that could potentially drop.
It's a nightmare. I got my final weapon today.
Yeah, Say got 0 from what I understand.
Yeah, apparently Say's luck isn't very good, and I'm out here stealing it, what little she has. I feel bad.
You
I'm
thief.
gonna help you through, Lizard. I promise.
You luck thief.
We'll be doing it together, Say, because I also need to farm it. So I unlocked one character with my first ticket, which I had your warning in mind, and I'm like, all right, I got to be super careful about who I pick because I'm like, I don't want to just unlock people to find who I like. I got to be careful with who I pick. And I agonized over this decision. I'm like, who do I pick?
Mm-hmm.
I ended up picking Narmaya simply because I was just like, all right, I played her during the demo. She's one of the 2 characters I played during the demo, outside of the captain. And I was just like, I'll go with her because she's one that I've played before. I like her aesthetic, and I've played her playstyle, and it's not that bad. I can get behind it. It's I think personally maybe it's just because I actually put more time into the actual game with her. I think it's more polished than it was from the demo. And I ended up really enjoying how she plays. I did really enjoy it,
Yeah.
and I played through the entire game. Oh no, that's not true. I played through the first half of the story with her, essentially. I played through the entire game with her, but only having unlocked her. And then about halfway through, I went ahead and unlocked Siegfried because he was the other person I played during the demo, and another character and he was one of the characters I actually really really liked. And so I was just like, okay, I'll go ahead and get him too, just so I have a second character to switch off in case, for whatever reason Narmaya gets old, whatever, blah 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 blah.
For sure.
So I picked up him, and then I also ended up, after finishing the main story, picking up Percival, another character I really liked. And I've only unlocked those 3. And at this point, Narmaya isn't even the one I main. I'm on Percival all the time at this point. Like, this was like a very recent switch. This was like yesterday.
This was in fact yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, yesterday, like I spent all day before everybody else got on, because I had a free day yesterday. I spent all day yesterday playing a Siegfried by myself. And I was like, I really enjoy playing a Siegfried. Maybe it was just because it was finally something different to Narmaya.
Oh, that's the goat chick waifu thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's the giraffe. She's
Yeah.
like the waifu of that game
All right.
for like majority of the player base.
Poor
Cortex
I was playing Siegfried
right there, guys.
and I really, really enjoyed Sig. And I really enjoyed Narmaya. Like, my enjoyment of playing Narmaya has not changed. I could switch to Narmaya and still enjoy playing her now. And I know how to play her. On side note, like, almost all 3 of these characters that I unlocked all are, like, super timing based with how they play. It's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
But in different ways. Siegfried, really, really enjoyed him. Fun fact, I think you have to be like god tier level to pull off what the NPC can do if they're playing Siegfried. Because I don't think the NPC can mess up the timing on Siegfried's combo, so he's always performing optimally when
That's
the NPC
fair.
can control him. So you have
That's
to be
fair.
really good at that timing. Because I was being outdamaged by my Siegfried earlier, and it was funny because I'm like, the amount of investment here is notably different, and I'm being outdone by my NPC Siegfried, and I'm like, it's got to be because he doesn't miss timing. It's got to be because he doesn't miss timing, right?
Yeah, the amount of MP fees he's gotten compared to you, Matt.
But yeah, so yesterday I played all day by myself as Siegfried, and then when everybody else got on, that's who Say plays. Say plays Siegfried, and I could have continued to play Siegfried. Sure, there's nothing stopping me from doing that because you can play the same character. But I was like, no, I'll do something different, and I'll switch to Percival and give him some time. And after putting some actual time into playing Percival, he's easily my favorite of the 3 to play. I I really enjoy playing Percival, and I really like Percival. Big surprise, he's right there in the characters I like.
I was right there with you until that. I'm still a bit iffy on that guy. He's kind of a dick, and he yells at me when we're in a party because I'm playing Vayne.
What are you talking about?
Bully.
Vayne laughs and plays with it.
Yeah, no, he absolutely does. Actually, it's very cute,
and
like the knights play well together. It's super charming.
It is. I've really loved the interactions when we do like link attacks and stuff. It's really cool.
Yes,
it's very, very fun. And I don't care what anybody says. He has a coarse personality, but he does everything he does from a place of caring. He's got like a heart of gold, but he has like 0 people skills. That's Percival. And you know what? That's fine. Considering his character and his goals in life, I don't think people skills are necessary as long as you understand them and your goals are good, right? He cares about people. He wants to protect people. He wants to build his own kingdom where there is no war and everybody's happy. I don't think you necessarily need people skills for that if you understand them.
Sure.
And look out for them. So I'm like, and I think that's kind of exactly what he needs, and he has that. So you know what? He can be a jerk to people. That's fine. It's because it's his personal he has communication skills. Whatever. Whatever. I like Percival. So sue me. You're not. Like, you're not gonna change that for me. You can hate me all you want. You can disagree with me all you want. Because look, all of these people, including you listening, yes, you know who you are. My favorite character in Fate is Gilgamesh.
Yep, there we are.
What you gonna do about it? I like these types of characters. Get over it. Come at me with, oh, I'm gonna punch him in the face. He's got a punchable face. Blah 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 blah. First off, if he's got a punchable face, that means I have a punchable face. Because you take away my beard, and you actually let my like hair thicken up top. We look kind of similar. Not gonna lie. He's thinner. I'm like a bigger build, but he's got a more anime thinner build. But still, there's a little bit of similarity there, all right? And then so if he's got a punchable face, I have a punchable face. To be fair, I probably have a punchable face, so that's not saying anything. But yeah, no, I've been playing Percival since we started playing together yesterday evening,
right.
all night last night, and that's what I've been doing all day today. Man, it's fun playing Percival. Man, this game is fun. And let me give this game unique praise.
Oh.
In recent memory, at least. And then the recent memory includes all the way back to Final Fantasy 16. I've never enjoyed playing a new game as much as I've enjoyed playing this game. Like, just the experience of playing this game for the first time. It's not my favorite first time experience playing a game, right? Because I don't think anything's ever going to beat Final Fantasy 14, my first time into 14 and into that world.
Right.
I don't think anything's ever going to beat that, right? But as far as like first time experience playing a game, this is by far better than anything I've had in a long time now. I have loved literally every second of playing this game.
Now
it has been such a joy. Yeah, no, it's like, please either keep supporting this game or get the next one out without the weight that this one had.
Oh my goodness, that would be a dream. Because
this game is so much fun. I love this game so much. I so enjoy playing this game. It's just been a joy. I've just enjoyed playing this game. That's really it.
That Cygames figured it out so quickly. Fate's been putting out video games for like, what, 15 years, 10 years? Haven't been able to figure it out yet.
They've been putting them out since early 2000s, I think. So yeah.
Including visual novels and all that?
No, for including visual novels, we're going back to the 90s. So that's...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was about like their extracurriculars.
Yeah, that's been early 2000s. I think 2001, 2002 is the 1st one.
And they for me at least, they never figured it out. Cygames, when their first go, was like, yeah, we're gonna make a video game. Let's go.
And it's so good. And
It's so good.
each character ends up being fun and unique in their own way, from what I understand. All the ones I've played, while they all end up being very timing based characters, um, are in different ways and are very enjoyable. I'll be straight with you guys here and with all of you listeners listening. We're gonna hit end on this podcast soon. I'm sure. I'm going right back to playing.
Yeah, no,
Like
Yeah,
I'm clicking
yeah.
stop record and I'm clicking launch relink. No in betweens. That's what's happening. That's like the biggest praise I can give this game. I think I've not had as enjoyable of an experience playing a game as I have this in a long time. And so consistently. I'm at like 60 plus hours. Usually, if I'm at 60 plus hours in a game, I have spaced it out some, or I'm starting to kind of be like, I'm kind of starting to slow down how actively I'm playing it.
Right.
That's not the case here. I'm at 60 hours and I want to keep playing it. I want to keep doing stuff. I want to pick it up and play. So it's just the joy of playing this game is
He's got the
best
MMO itch for this game, even though it's not an MMO.
It's the best praise I can give to this game, honestly. My only worry and or concern is I hope they make Sandalphon really fun.
I can't imagine he won't be. He is the most sought after character.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I can't imagine he won't be. Honestly, I'm sure he'll be fine. It's just I hope he's more fun to me than everybody else.
Sure.
That would be the best.
I mean, look, I hope so. I hope that you get this, because every time Cygames puts out a game, I pick it up and go, can't wait to play Catalina. And every time they put out this game, she is the most not convoluted, but the most clunky character to play. I'm like, God, I want her to be good just once. I'm gonna play her regardless. I want her to be good. So I hope you don't have this same issue I keep running into.
I hope so. I mean, even if he's not, I'll play him just on the principle of I love this character.
Exactly.
Like literally, my player card in game says Sandalphon's homie.
It's true. I looked this up. He tells no lies. He really wrote that.
I love that guy. He's great. I flipped out when he showed up after beating Proto Bahamut. I was like, oh my god, it's Sandalphon. His game is such a blast. It's such a joy. I'm excited to keep playing it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing it. I will say this also made me far more interested in Grand Blue's story than the anime did. Like, because I watched the anime, and while it did make me interested in Grand Blue's story, it just wasn't enough, I guess.
I agree. Yeah.
But this one did it. This one made me super, super interested. And so when I'm not playing, I'll load up the actual like Grand Blue Fantasy game on my browser and I'll go start reading story to try and catch up in all of that. And because I have an account and I've had one for years at this point. So I'll go try and catch up on the story a little bit. I'm still like way in the beginning of the story. Like I don't even have the full crew yet. That's how early I have been because I've mostly been playing, but I started reading it to try and catch up to the story and stuff.
So, let's go.
I also sped through all of the past anniversary events so that I could play the new one, and so I could go read all those stories when the time
makes
comes.
sense.
I have no idea what happens, but I finished it. So I'm like, cool. I now can read that story at any point. Another thing, many gacha games out there need to take note of. Just saying. But yeah, that's really been me in a nutshell. It was a little bit of Star Rail. then it was P3R, and now it's Relink, and it's probably going to be Relink for next little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm gonna get the characters I have up and going, and then start unlocking the rest of the characters
Right.
slowly but surely, one by one, up until April, when Alejandro's character comes out, and then he will be my priority, and then rinse and repeat with Sandalphon.
Yep. Checks out.
But yeah, I've been doing so much gaming over the last couple of weeks.
Gamer.
Since we recorded.
Oh my god, gamer.
It's yeah, and again, I've loved Relink. It has been such a joy.
I'm super pleased to hear that you like it. Because I was worrying there for a second when I was talking about it, however long ago it was. Because you seemed like you were into the idea, but you also had some reservations. I'm happy that once you get your hands on it, you were every bit as enthralled as I was, as Say was, as Shell was, so on and so forth, forever and ever. And yes, you too, Aqua, we didn't forget you. I have added you in the podcast. What are you going to do about it?
Good. Like, cause he called me out the other day because I didn't tag him, and I'm like, bro, I thought
I
you were at
did.
work.
This is exactly why I did this.
Like, he's like, I was like, I thought you were at work. And he's like, well, to be fair, I am at work. And I'm like, well, then what are you getting on at me for? You literally can't join.
Oh, you love to hear it.
But it was like, yeah, no, like prior to getting my hands on it, it was like, yes, I'm excited for it, but I didn't want to get my hopes up. And it not be something awesome or incredible. And that's what I was hoping for. And when I played the demo, maybe because I didn't play with anybody, and I don't think the demo really gave the greatest feel for the game because it was very limited what you could do. The demo didn't do a lot
very good for that.
No, like the demo actually.
Unless you were playing with people, then it was great. But
I never did. I touched
but in
it
terms of
one
like
time.
showing the game off, it did. I think it did a poor job as well.
Yeah, like honestly, playing the demo made me kind of less excited for it because I was just kind of like, it's all right. I'm like, I don't think it's not fun. I'm like, it's cool, I guess. So I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up and play it. But now I'm not super stoked to pick it up at launch. But lo and behold, I got my hands on it, started playing it, and oh my lord, I love it. I love it so much. Somebody says the game somebody said, I think it might have been you, Dalit. The game has the Monster Hunter formula of it's basically just go fight big target, go back, repeat.
Yeah. I've been saying this for a while. This game is literally, I mean, at least I think it's literally a Tales Monster Hunter game.
Yeah, and I was, I'm not the biggest Monster Hunter fan, as we've discussed before.
Sure.
So I was just kind of like, I don't know. Who knew that all it took was anime?
Who could have guessed?
I mean, Monster Hunter is anime, but I see your point.
But this did it for me. I mean, I love it. It's fun. I think it does a pretty solid job of, even as you get into the more difficult stuff, powering you up to be comparably strong to compete. So it never quite feels like a difficulty change.
Yeah,
Right.
I would agree with that. Despite having like 7 friggin' difficulty levels.
Yeah, despite
Sure, it's
7
like
difficulty
5,
levels, it does a good job of that. And I can't say not to say Monster Hunter doesn't, so to speak, but I don't know. I feel like Monster Hunter, if you don't have the skill, that doesn't change until you get the skill. And I just never developed the skill with Monster Hunter, but that might just be me. But yeah, that's been me. And that's what I'll be doing. Yeah, that's been us. But it's good to sit down and chat with you, gents, again.
Always.
When we get these breaks between recording, it's really off-putting. So I'm glad to be back at it, to be back recording. It's especially after the cause of some of these breaks.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So
no, I agree. Yeah. It's great being back. Hello, everyone. everyone. Goodbye, everyone.
Hello and goodbye indeed. Thank you guys so much for sitting with me. As always, you both wonderful co-hosts. I'm so happy to have you. And to all of you listeners, thank you so much for listening. As always, we are encroaching on 20 episodes. It's crazy to me. So thank you all for sticking with us this long. And I hope you look forward to the next one. And as always, do be sure to go follow us over on Twitter at Celestia Radio PD. If you have your own topics, questions, ideas you want to submit to us, use the hashtag AskCRP or leave it in the comment section on YouTube, and we will keep our eyes peeled. Who knows, maybe what you submit will be used. As always, we thank you, and we'll see you next time, everybody. Peace.
Take care, everyone.
Be good now.